Hey guys, the common tendency we're going to be talking about here is for the individual that is too passive with their fourth ball. If you find yourself in a position where the drop just continues to come to you and your partner is not seeing any fourth balls, you've got to ask yourself, am I allowing my opponents to deal with less traffic when they come in? Or am I dinking it back in the kitchen and handing it over on a silver platter and just giving my opponents a big old invitation to just mosey on up? Plain and simple, if you find yourself seeing a lot of fourth balls and you find that your opponents are in transition and they're taking their sweet time, you're probably not doing enough with your fourth and your sixth and your eighth. Keep in mind that when you've hit a return and you've gotten up and got established, you're in full control. But with you being in full control, try to stay under the umbrella of being controlled aggressive, meaning that pace range in which you should be hitting your fourth and your sixth and your eight balls are probably going to be in that range of like 40 to 80%. So just keep in mind that, or I guess understand that you're at a huge advantage when you've hit a return and you've gotten up and gotten established. So now your role is to slowly push your opponents back as they're working in transition. And this would be a great time to start using that fourth ball roll, sixth ball roll, or if you find yourself over leaning on a drop and you have some time, know that you have more time than you think, and don't be afraid to take a step back to open up some space so you can look to speed up off the bounce.
Yeah, I think the people that are a little bit too passive are in this category. To me, it's usually balls that are in that yellow zone, kind of in this height here. I think most people, if it's up in green, they're going to go ahead and smack the ball and try to be somewhat offensive. But when they're in that yellow zone, this is where it's kind of a fine line, because we don't want to be trying to finish the ball, because if we're trying to finish or put it away, we're probably going to miss in the net or miss a little bit long. But at the same time, when the ball's in that pocket here, I don't want to just bunt this back and give my opponents just a free pass of getting all the way up to the kitchen line. I want to recognize I have an advantage. I want to use that advantage for as long as I have. So oftentimes the right play is just being a little bit more intentional with aiming for our opponent's feet when they're back. Now, we also want to have a high IQ here, so it can get the other side of it where we're not too passive. Maybe we're trying to keep them back every time. There is a point where we need to surrender, but that's more balls down in red. So I would say most of the time with yellow, we want to keep them back. But if they do get it down in red, nothing wrong with dinking back in the kitchen then, but wait till they hit an exceptional drop before you're willing to just let them neutralize and lose your advantage at the kitchen.
And if you find that your opponent's getting very dialed into their third ball or their fifth ball, you've got to ask yourself, am I not doing enough on my return? Or am I not doing enough on my fourth to put pressure on the servers that will force them to be inconsistent with their drops? Hey Picklers, if you enjoyed this instructional video, do me a favor, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn those notifications on. Okay guys, drill here is gonna be, I'm acting as a student, Coach Kyle is acting as a teacher. Kyle is going to be dropping and hitting a drop, or he's going to be feeding himself a third ball drop. My job is to be, plan A is to take it out of the air if I can, and take it out of the air either in green or in yellow. Plan B would be if I find myself getting overextended and I'm out here and I have more time than I think, I'm going to take a step back, buy myself some time, and find a better source of offense. Plain and simple, in this scenario, I'm finding my best source of offense. Whether that's out of the air, rolling, or up here, or that's buying myself some time and using a step back fourth ball. So he's gonna feed. Okay, sorry. Again, he's feeding. I roll, he's gonna trap, very good. Feed, roll, and trap, very good. Good, I have plenty of time. So that's the ball where I'm gonna have him feed again. So it's a little higher, and I have plenty of time. And instead of me just surrendering from here and dinking this back, I have more time than I think. I can use that little step back, let the ball sit up a little higher, and then take a fourth ball speed up off the bounce versus digging for trash in here.
And it's funny, people will ask me with that step back, Tyson, people will ask me, well, do I really want to do that? Because if I let the ball bounce, they've got all this time to get further in, and they're right to some degree. That if you do let the ball bounce, yes, the person hitting the drop has more time to get further in, but if you're letting that ball sit up to where you can basically play a ground stroke at them, I know for me, that's a lot of traffic that I'm dealing with when I'm in that transition zone. So yes, I was able to get up further, but I'm dealing with a much more difficult shot if my opponents use that step back fourth.
Okay. And so what we know here is that if you don't have a roll volley in yellow, it's tough to really be offensive from that zone. And honestly, all you can do is, if Kyle drops in my yellow zone, I don't have a roll shot, all I can do is just try to punch back. But when I punch back, I can't get spin, I can't get the ball to go down. So I would strongly encourage you guys, even before considering being more offensive with your fourth and your sixth and your eighth, focus on understanding the correct technique behind hitting a roll volley. I've seen 3-5s go to a 4-0. I've seen 4-0s go to a 4-5, just with the ability to have more offense from lower locations. Okay, here we go. Roll, he's gonna trap, very good. Roll, he's gonna trap. Nice, out of the air. I have plenty of time. I take a step back versus this right here. Okay, that is called, Kyle, come on up, buddy. Come join the party. The last thing I want to do is put a big old invitation on my forehead that says, come on in, join the party, okay?
So maybe Tyson, just real quickly, maybe show them when there's a time where we maybe want to be careful not to use the step back. Maybe if there's a lot of spin, a little bit more linear. Okay.
So, great example here. If there's ever a time where you have to respect the drop, it's usually when it's getting on you pretty quick and it's in that pressurized zone and you don't have time to take a step back. The only time that I can take a step back is off of a floaty drop. When it gets down and it's super aggressive, I'm probably just gonna have to surrender, and that is the only time where I will say, Kyle, come on in, because all I can do really is just dink it back and play. Plain and simple, if the drop is too good, all you can do is dink it back. So drop is getting down, I don't have time, again. Okay, drop is getting down, again, here you go. Drop is getting down, I don't have time, for sure, that's really all I can do. And I'm basing this ball, if it gets down in a hurry and I don't have time to take a step back, I'm basing this ball off of his court positioning. If he's at the baseline and doesn't come in, well, great. I can take that half volley and push it back deep. I would assume that most people, when they hit a pretty good drop like that, they're going to be gaining real estate. So with that being said, I'm not gonna focus on big picture. I'm gonna be focused on small, but I'm at least gonna glance and see where he's at with big picture here. If he's in the half court transition zone, I'm gonna go half court transition. If he's in short court transition, I'm gonna go short court. Plain and simple, I have to know where he's at as I'm hitting that ball. Next drill here. Now we're gonna keep it continuous, same idea. I'm acting as a student, Coach Kyle is acting as a teacher. He's working on getting his drop in. I'm working on finding my best source of offense with my fourth. Okay, ready here? Nice. You see how I take a good majority of these with my backhand? Okay? If I show this same exercise and I try to hit every ball as a forehand, you will see that I have to dance to ever even hit a forehand. Plain and simple, I'm much more efficient with my movement if I can stay with the backhand. And keep in mind, as I hit this roll volley, zone 3 all the way to zone 1, it's all gonna be taken with a backhand. That ball sounds terrible. Jeez. Good. Here you go. Take a step back. Step back. Sorry. Getting those drops down. Get them down. Here you go. Couple more. So you see how, yes, I am having to move a little bit and I'm having to work my butt off, but I'm hitting a much better ball that's getting down, that's putting more pressure on him. Okay guys, game here is gonna be Coach Kyle's at the baseline. He's gonna be feeding a third ball drop. My role here is to work on finding my best source of offense, whether that's out of the air in yellow or green, or taking a step back if I need some time. Playing the point out, game to 7 here, rally scoring. It's gonna be situational. I get a bonus point if I cannot allow that man to get established. Plain and simple, if I can push him back and keep him back and force it where I can end the point but before he gets established, I would get a point for winning the point, and then I would get a point for putting pressure on him and keeping him back. Okay? Coach Kyle's gonna feed. Coach Kyle's gonna feed. I'm gonna play the point out.
Okay, here we go. Zeros.
Very good. Okay, score is 0-1.
0-1, because even though I won that point, I never did get to the kitchen line, so just the 1 point. Here we go. 1-0.
Okay, very good. So I got 2 there, kept them back, won the point. Score is 1-2. Yeah, love that turn the ball, baby.
1-4, 2 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
So just be 1 then,
Yeah,
right?
great example there. Kyle hit a good drop to my inside foot. I was late to getting back. I had to turn it into a dink. Prime example there of showing the dropper some respect by simplifying my ball because it got on me too quick. Okay.
And you still won the point, right?
Still won the point.
It took you several shots,
Correct.
but you still said, hey, listen, I'm not going to give him the error. I'm going to make him get up and still earn the point by beating me in that dink exchange.
Okay. So like the idea of being offensive, but you have to be selective with it. Okay.
Okay, 1-5. Here we go. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a good ball. God, it just sounds like a thud.
It's 25, sorry.
Jeez, again. Yeah, take it. Score is 3-5, 3-5. Here we go.
Get out of here.
4-5, last one here, ending on a good one. Coach Kyle is feeding. Step back. Very good, yeah.
Don't end on that one.
Good example there. I even though I was a little late to getting back, instead of me surrendering here, I gave myself a little time. I got a bit more stick on it. Now Kyle's having to chase for trash, down at his feet. Plain and simple, I was able to find his red zone and put more pressure on him just by making that adjustment.
Yeah, and sometimes going for more is a good trade. I know for me, part of the reason I missed that ball, I was a little bit leaning too far forward because I was surprised by how much you were able to do with it, right? So that surprise element earned you the error.
Yep. 4-6.
4-6, here we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good play.